Guys, it's Jaleesa and I am back with another hair video. It's a new year, so I wanted to try something new and different, and I love this hair. I'm using Mercy's hair extensions, and I will leave all of the information down below, but I custom colored the hair and decided to sew it in and do this half up, half down. I absolutely adore this hairstyle, so if you guys want to see how I got this look, then let's get into it. My hair is custom colored, so we're going to start off with some developer, and we're definitely going to need some bleach to lift and create some highlights and tones. So I'm going to take a scoop of the bleach and I'm going to go ahead and add this to a bowl. I couldn't find my coloring bowl, but any plastic bowl works. And then I'm going to add a nice ratio of developer and create a nice creamy consistency. And what I'm going to start to do is just apply the bleach into small strips of hair, and this is going to help to create dimension and highlighting because these small strips are going to start to process before the rest of the hair will. So I'm just gonna go all the way around, and I am very random with this. I like to use my hands because using my hands is just, I don't know, I feel like I have more control. So just going around, applying these strips, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and let this process for about 20 minutes before I come back and I start to add the bleach to the ends. And what this is gonna do is create a really nice kind of ombre effect. I like when my ends are a little bit lighter than the roots just because it gives me more of a natural sun-kissed effect. So I'm concentrating this on the ends and then kind of blending it upwards towards the middle of the hair, and this is really gonna create a really nice blended effect. So it's time for me to let the hair process, and I need to wrap the hair with foil first. This helps to really trap in and lock in the heat, and it helps the hair to process a lot faster and a lot deeper. I'm gonna let this sit for about 20-30 minutes, checking periodically just to make sure it's not over processing and losing elasticity. So after about 30 minutes, this is what the hair pretty much looks like. It's a really nice kind of warm brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and add more bleach now to working my way upwards towards the root area. I don't hit the root completely because, you know, I wanna leave a little bit of that darkness at the root. But I'm just gonna make sure that I drag it upwards and really blend it so I'm not getting any harsh lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover it back up again and let this process for another 20-30 minutes. And again, checking periodically, making sure that it's not bleaching too fast. This hair doesn't bleach super fast, so you don't have to be too careful with it. But this is what it looks like now. So it's a really nice warm brown with some blonde ends. So here's what the hair looks like after it's been rinsed and lightly shampooed. I just wanted to make sure that the bleach stopped processing, and I'm just gonna detangle with the paddle brush really gently. So I'm going back in now. I wanna create even more depth and more brightness. You could stop here if you like what this color looks like, but I just wanna add a little bit more blondness just to kind of match my natural hair color, even though I kind of ended up darkening my natural hair color at the end. You'll see later. But I'm pretty much just repeating the same process as before, but this is what is called a double process, when the hair's already been bleached and you let it rest and sit, and then you go back over it to bleach it again. And dark hair, black hair, needs a double process if you want to go blonde, just because you can't really get a full blonde in one process without completely damaging the hair. So like I said, repeating the process all over again and you'll see the results. So I'm wrapping it up in foil again, and once it's processed for about 30 minutes, this is what it looks like. So I need to go ahead and rinse it out, give it a nice light shampoo so that way I can tone it. So this process was a little different for me because I usually use a Wella toner, but this time I'm using a blue and a cyan semi-permanent hair color, and this is going to help to cancel out those orange tones because blue and orange are opposites, so I should get a nice kind of brown blonde shade. So what I learned was that you want to start towards the root area because the ends are going to process very fast and you're going to get blue hair. So learn from my mistakes and start at the top and do all of the top parts and then hit the ends last. So that way the ends are processing for less time. But I really liked that cyan for toning, and I didn't need to leave it on the hair for too long. I would say maybe 10 minutes max. Like I was working fast because I saw it changing so quickly. So this is what the hair looks like with the cyan, and it's definitely time for me to rinse this out. So for my less blonde bundles, I'm using Sapphire, which is a darker blue, to counteract that darker red shade. I think this worked perfectly as well, but I also just really liked the cyan a little bit better. So if I were you, you probably wouldn't need to get Sapphire. You could probably just work with cyan, even if the hair is more of a reddish brown as opposed to blonde. But if you do decide to get Sapphire, which really helps to cancel out deeper orange shades, make sure that you're not using it on the ends because the ends will turn blue. Make sure that you're always using cyan at the ends and you're applying the color to the ends very last. So once the hair is rinsed and shampooed, I'm going to add an after color treatment to lock the color in. And now it's time for me to actually sew the extensions in. So I'm going to take this weaving cap, and I found it was really easy to use. Just applied it over my braids, which were kind of janky, but I could not braid with these nails to save my life. But it's all right. It's a big fluffy curly weave, so the braid pattern is not that important. Now if it was a straight weave or straight hair, you have to be a lot more careful that it's super flat, but with this big hair, it's really just not going to matter that much. So I'm sewing the cap down around the perimeter of my braids. I have some leave out around the perimeter, so I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that. But yeah, just sewing that down so that way I don't have to, in parts where I have my scalp, I'm not, I can sew down the hair in those areas using the weaving cap. So this is what the hair looks like after it's been toned and colored. You can see I have different dimensions because I think that looks very natural, especially for me and my natural hair color. So I'm starting off with the brightest blonde, and I want that to be around the perimeter basically. So if I put my hair up in ponytails, then you can see that bright blonde shade. So I'm starting off just with one track of the bright blonde at the bottom. And once I have that sewn on, I'm gonna go ahead and add my longest length bundle. So that's gonna go right on top of that blonde. And I'm actually doubling this one up just so I could fit as much as possible. I have a pretty small head, so it gets a little bit hard trying to fit as many bundles as possible. So I just ended up doubling it up, and then you'll just see me once I get to the edge, then I'm just gonna do the fold over method. I'm not gonna cut this bundle. So once I have that sewn down, I'm gonna add one of the blonde tracks just to give me some more, like I said, dimension and depth. I like just throwing it in every now and then. So you'll see me do that here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and sew that across once. I'm not gonna fold over or do anything like that. I'm just adding one piece. So you can see here the dimension that it's gonna give. It just gives a little bit of kind of, I guess, visual interest as opposed to being the same color all the way through. Just gives a little pop of something else. So I went ahead off camera and sewn down that 20-inch bundle, but I didn't double the wefts this time. And so I have some, some space right here. I'm just gonna do it one by one, and I'm actually gonna cut the wefts because I want it to be as flat as possible, close to the hairline and close to my leave out. And once I've added the darker brown, I'm gonna add one of the blonde wefts right at the very top, like I said, to create visual interest, to add some highlighting, as you'll see here. Just gives it a pop of something different. And then I'm also going to sew down some of the blonde around the perimeter, so that way if I pull my hair back, I'm gonna get some blonde highlights. And you can see the layering here where you get blonde and you get some brown, you get some darker. So it just looks really cool to me, at least. Okay, so now that everything is sewn down, look how big and fluffy and full. I love it. It's so dramatic. This is what I call photo shoot hair. I love it. So now we have one problem. Many of you won't have this issue because your hair color is probably not like mine. But I have this weird ashy, mousy brown color for a natural hair color, which means that I'm gonna have to make my hair darker to match with the extensions. It's something I deal with all the time. So I'm taking, this is a rinse. It's not permanent, it's not damaging, but it does last a little while. So I'm gonna add this onto my hair to darken it up and match it with the extensions. It just makes it seamless, it makes it easy, and I just don't even have to think about blending leave out. I also have to make sure that I'm getting the sides, so that way when I pull my hair up, it looks natural all the way around, 360. So my hair's all rinsed out, and I'm gonna take some of this Pattern curl gel to this soaking wet hair, and I think it worked really, really well actually to give me nice definition, made my hair soft. So taking the Pattern curl gel, you can use any curl gel, but I had this pretty much lying around, and I'm gonna detangle the hair so that way I get really nice curls and really nice definition, as opposed to a really big kind of frizzy afro, which I love that look, but I was going for something a little bit different this time. And you can see here how nicely defined the hair is with the curl gel. I'm gonna also do the same thing with my natural hair, and just adding the curl gel and detangling, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that my hair clumps in. I don't know what this is called. This is, I guess, I don't know, finger twirls? What do you call this? Whatever you call it, that's what I did. I can't think of the word. Oh my God, I feel so crazy right now. So this is basically what I have going on here, and I just need to let the hair air dry. So now that my hair is air dried, you can see the difference in my hair and the weave. So what I need to do now is go ahead and give the weave some layers, so that way everything blends seamlessly. So I start cutting where my natural hair ends, not too far down, but you can see on the right side where I cut, and then here on the left side where I haven't cut yet, it's just a lot flatter, and I want more of a rounder shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the hairstyle that I've been wanting to do for so long, which was a big, fluffy, half up, half down. I could have worn the hair down, but this is what I've just been thinking about for the past month now. So just went ahead and put half the hair up, added it a scrunchie to secure it. Didn't do anything too crazy, too sleek, but it's just something, it's just a vision that I had for about a month that I really wanted to execute. So that's it. It's just a big fluffy curly half up half down. So I'm just gonna adjust it into place and, you know, make it do what it do. But look how cute! This is literally what I've been wanting for the longest time. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I love this hairstyle. Check out Mercy's hair extensions. I'll leave a link down below for a discount for you guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!